So hello everybody, it's me, Demetra K, and I'm sitting here with Donovan. The last couple of weeks I've been saying I'm sitting here by myself, but I'm sitting here with Donovan, a recovering Democrat, Sadiq, also known as Black Yul Brenner, and yes, he is still black and still thinks he's Yul Brenner, and he's still very bald. I'd like to say a big giant welcome back, as I know you were at Sasua, so we're gonna give you a moment to tell us what you want to tell us before we get into our topic. But I should say that the purpose of the Demetra K Show is to promote Black love, knowledge, and understanding of all things that go on in the Black community to make us an even better people, with the emphasis on even, because we are great people and we can always strive to do better. I'd like to also say a big giant thank you, hello, and welcome to YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook. You are the other side of the conversation. Not only are you viewers, but you're a family, and we do share the link from time to time. But all I ask is that if I do share the link and your profile looks like this, please show me this. And then you can blank it back out if you do not want to be seen by everybody. Of course, I'm the only one that can see you until I bring you up to the big screen. Also ask that we are respectful in the comment section, no cursing. I know sometimes one slips or whatever. I guess that's okay, but let's not make it a habit. Also, let's be respectful to one another in the comment section and on the platform. So today, Donovan is going to tell us about his trip in Sasua, the DR. They're also going to talk about this trend that's been going around. I've been hearing a lot about it for the last couple of weeks, but it's basically women are choosing the bear over the man to be alone in the woods with. So they said, what would you rather, be alone in the woods with a bear or a man? And women are choosing the men. And I'm going to show y'all a video. Then, of course, I'm going to show y'all another video of a sister. She's a single mom, and she's very distraught over, her situation. And so we're going to have conversations about those things. So we got a jam-packed show. I'm going to try to see if I can share the link today or whatever. I will be in the comments, so forgive me if I'm not able to read all of the comments. But let's see. One, who cares? How you doing? Everybody saying welcome back, Donovan. Mike Nice, what's going on, brother Don and Kelvin? I hope you are doing well. So, Donovan, what happened? How are you, first of all? Hey, Willie.
I am doing very, very well. My cats tore up my house, but, that's what happens when you leave animals by themselves. Happy to be back. Of course, you got to plug back into the matrix as soon as you pass customs, plug up and, get back into this false reality stuff. But first of all, I want to say thanks everybody for checking on me out there, seeing what was going on. My tizzy tour is over. Big up to Black men, by the way. We were out there praying together, fellowshipping together, hugging each other, giving each other great advice, real estate, stock, whatever it was, we were doing it, having a great time. I wore this shirt, and you know how many boos I got walking down the street? I mean, just guys were just like, "Oh hell no, you got to take that off. Get the hell up out of here." You're right. So and that was and that was the guys. I didn't tell you how the women reacted down there. They were just like, "Oh no, Mamacita has to go. No, get her out of here." But it was a great, great time there. I will say this in my tizzy tour this time. You guys know I'm a veteran. There's VA benefits down there and stuff like that. I saw a lot of and big ups to the women veterans out there. They are taking themselves, their young families and their girlfriends, and they're coming to the DR and they're signing up for the foreign medical program, and they're getting their free massages and all that other stuff. Now, we were in the rainy season when I was there, real quick. And so summer's now going to hit now. So everything, I mean, if you guys saw some of my videos on my Facebook page, it actually flooded where I was at in Sasua. And I know Demetra was probably like praying and doing whatever else she had to do to get
doing rain dances.
Right, coming down and doing that. But it actually flooded there. But now it's getting super hot. Summertime is going there. And I'm going to tell you guys, we never hear about this. When we talk about women behaving badly, it was actually going down in Sasua and Puerto Plata by American women. It was no joke. I'm not exaggerating, but then again, they're doing nothing no different than some of the guys that are exploiting the gring, what do you call those guys? The young Dominican men, and having a fun time with them. But see, notice we never talk about that. We never talk about it. It's always one-sided. So, but all in all, fellas, another thing I noticed, and it was crazy, Demetra, a bachelor party happened down there. And I'm like, why the hell would you bring a bachelor party down here? That guy's not going to get married now. He's not going to get married. It's just a wrap now. It's just a wrap. So that's my report on this time's tizzy tour.
Well, I'm glad that you're back very refreshed. So anyway, hello to everybody that is on here. So today is our Wednesday show. We've named this show so many things. It's hard to keep up really at this moment. But anyway,
where is Walter? That's we got to keep that as the show because Walter will pop up from time to time. So let's just keep it. Where's Walter?
Actually, I haven't talked to Walter in probably like 2 weeks or so. So he's somewhere rolling around. I don't know. And I don't know if the comments have stopped or what. It's kind of like frozen. So maybe they'll catch up or whatever. I don't know. But anyway, are they moving on your end? The comments,
No,
last comment you see?
No, they're kind of stuck right now too.
Okay. Hey, Judge, how you doing? Okay, so I see one comment. You said, I love my Black women. I know that's right. So anyway, let's go ahead and get started for the sake of time. All right, so there is this trend going around, and it's going around on TikTok, I should say. And the trend is basically asking women, okay? Hey, Marcella, how you doing? Asking women if you were alone in the woods by yourself, okay? Or you were in the woods, would you rather be alone in the woods with a man or a bear? Okay. And most women said they'd rather be alone in the woods by themselves with a bear. Now, I'm going to show y'all a video of a woman that's kind of describing it better than I can, but I have seen this trend going around, and we're going to discuss that. The one who cares, how you doing? All right, here we go.
Right now, where women are asking their male partners if they would rather the woman be stuck in the woods with a random man or a bear.
Would you rather me be stuck in the woods with a bear or a random man?
Man.
Most men are questioning why women are answering bear, and why women would prefer to be stuck in the woods with a bear than a random man. But while there are many, many reasons, here are just a few why I would personally choose bear. Shanann Watts and her children were murdered by her husband, Chris Watts. Lacey Peterson and her unborn child were murdered by her husband, Scott Peterson. Gabby Petito was murdered by her boyfriend, Brian Laundrie. Hannah Clark and her children were murdered by her estranged husband, Rowan Baxter. Anna Walsh was murdered by her husband, Brian Walsh. Jennifer Farber-Dulos was murdered by her ex-husband, Fotis Dulos. Grace Mullane was murdered by her Tinder date, Shane Kempson. And Suzanne Morphew was allegedly murdered by her husband, Barry Morphew. Meanwhile, there have been only 180 fatal bear attacks in North America in the last 240 years. But that's just a few reasons why I would pick bear. It's not all men, but there are many.
All right, so, like I said, oh God. That is, well, I don't even know why it's a trend, but it's a trend, and it's been going on for several weeks now. So she listed her own reasons of women that have been taken out of here by a boyfriend or a husband or whatever. And then she also cited, and I've seen actually a lot of men talk about this too, and they gave statistics in regards to how many people are actually harmed or killed by bears. And she cited 180 within the last 240 years. And I would probably say that we know of, right? So 240 people, I'm sorry, 180 people within the last 240 years have been harmed by a bear. I've seen other people cite that obviously is higher as far as humans harming humans and men harming women. What I understand, I think I saw one that says since 2020, it's like 8,000 women were harmed by men. And so I've seen a lot of people discuss the trend, and I've seen a lot of men actually discuss this trend, and they said it's unfortunate. I'm just telling you what I heard. It said it's unfortunate that men are finding ways to be on the defensive instead of just listening to women as to why they say the bear. Because when I think about being stuck in the woods with a man or a bear, I'm thinking the bear is probably going to shred me to pieces. And I think they know that. They know that the bear is probably going to do something to them. But the other excuses are, or not excuses, but reasons are, I could probably talk or fend the bear off. Some women said in some cases, there are situations where you can fend a bear off. Yes, there are. You can look it up. There's times you can fend a bear off. It said sometimes you can't fend the bear off. The man off. And a whole host of other things. Like I said, these aren't my reasons. These are the reasons that I've heard. And so I want to have a discussion about that, and you could Google it and see. that there's ways that you can survive a bear attack or stop a bear from attacking you. So anyway, let me see who else is on here real quick, and then I'll give it to you. Let's see. Bernard, how you doing? Says the bear will eat you. Laugh my yeah, and I think people know that. I think the women they know that, but you know, some have said the bear is not going to degrade you before he does that to you. I don't know. I'm just telling y'all what I heard. Zerai, how you doing? He says we're not confused. We know the ones that picture the bear are mentally ill. Okay, Victory, how you doing? Says I guess they never watch grizzly people to see what a bear can do to a human. Yeah, I can only imagine. How you doing, Troy? Let's see here. Marcelli said white men. Tia, how you doing? Mindful moments, what's going on with you? And okay. Mars, how are you doing? Frank, what's going on with you? Facts Not Feelings, how are you doing? Just want to acknowledge everybody. Brother Reggie, you say Yogi Bear. And Kels, how are you doing? And so Donovan, what say you?
Okay. Again, we're not saying you said these things, Dimitri. Like you're just saying, you know, what you're reading and what this person said. Now, notice she cited these man killers of their families, but didn't cite why they killed the women. Okay, she didn't cite that. She didn't say, you know, it's easy to point a person and say, oh, Lacey Peterson's husband killed, this person killed it, but notice she did not say what led up to the killing. But it really doesn't matter. The woman's dead. But you know, she's citing, you know, she's only telling half the story of what portrays to make you think that men are dangerous. That's such BS. It's BS. It's BS. It's BS. If you're going to cite something, cite the whole thing. Now, let's get to the bear. A lot of people, especially urban people who watch freaking movies or went to the damn zoo, that's the only time they've ever seen a bear. Okay, that's the only time they've ever seen a bear. I was stationed in Alaska for 5 years. And let me tell you, you're not going to walk up to a bear and be like, hi, how you doing? I have a better chance with you. They are wild animals and they are aggressive. I will tell you, in Alaska alone, there are 50 bear attacks minimum in Anchorage alone. 50 bear attacks, because if you drive a certain direction, about 10 minutes out of town of Anchorage, you're in rough wilderness. There's 50 bear attacks in Anchorage alone. I didn't say killing. I said attacks. There's at least 13 moose killings in Alaska, at least when I was there, by moose. A mother stomping college kids. You can Google that. That's all in the search. Because a lot of ignorant people don't know you do not step in between a mother and the calf. The mother will stomp you to death, and that happens a lot. So you've got these ignorant women out here who put this bull crap up to make it seem like men are the freaking problem. No, the problem is women who cite stupid things like this, or men or women who cite stupid things like this to further the divisional wedge between each other. You would be delusional as a human being to say, well, you know what? I could just live with a bear rather than a person. That's a delusional person. I mean, come on, let's just stop this. Let's just stop it. Anybody that would come out of their mouth, it's delusional for a woman to think she would do better with a bear than she would with a man. I'm a full grown man, and I would definitely have problems with a bear. Come on now. Come on. It's just, it boils my blood when I hear this stupidity. It just boils my blood.
Hello, you average logical thinker. So I just Google, it says, according to the U.S. National Park Services, if you are attacked by a grizzly bear, you should play dead. Tell you how you do that. Stay still, wait, stay down for 20 minutes, then leave in the opposite direction. So there are ways to avoid being attacked by a bear. I don't know if a bear gets a hold of you. That's probably a different story. But nevertheless, those are the reasons that were cited. And I think it's fair to say that a lot of a lot of women deem men to be, not all, and even she said not some. So of course, we're never going to deal in absolutes. But there's women who believe that men are dangerous. There's some women that would probably be afraid to walk down an alley by herself with a man that she doesn't know. I don't know. I know that I would be, and that is not really. I just think that's just kind of innate. I guess anybody you don't know if you're walking down an alley by yourself, but you know, I think the premise of that exercise or quiz was to see how it's really for women to ask their men and see what they would say and why. But as I said, I saw a lot of men say a lot of men are not actually getting the question. They're being on the defensive, opposed to saying, okay, well, why would a woman choose a bear over being in the woods with a man? And per what I've seen a lot of men talk about, they're saying that the men are failing the test miserably because, again, oh, that's not true. Oh, a man wouldn't do it. And then it's like, me personally, if I was a man, I would wonder, well, why would you choose a bear over a man in the woods? But I guess maybe some people are not interested. And Troy, if I didn't already, how you doing? Says that's inaccurate. If as many women live with bears as they do men, the number would go up. Exactly. I think though, if obviously we know it's a silly dichotomy, but I think that's the point. So of course we know people don't live with bears unless you're Grizzly Adams. I don't know. But yeah. Oh, I saw somebody's comment down there. Facts Not Feelings says men who delete women they know do it for specific reasons. Not saying it's right. Oh yeah, that's what I want to go back to. Listen, I don't think there's ever a reason to kill people. Okay, now. We know, and I will say this for since she brought up Scott Peterson, he's actually back in court because it looked like he may not have done it. Now, Lacey Peterson was his wife, and I think she was pregnant or something. And he's been in jail for about 20 years, 25 years maybe. And there's been evidence to say that he possibly didn't do it, which is kind of crazy, right? Because Nancy Grace and everybody's like, he did it. But they're saying that it's, and the Innocence Project, I'm actually involved in that. So usually when the Innocence Project gets involved, yeah, it's probably a good chance that you're innocent. But yeah, so there's never really a good reason to kill people. You know what I mean? So I just want to put that out there. Judge says, I ain't never saw a bear and don't want to. Me either. I can imagine if I saw a bear. Victory. He says, a man can be fought off. A bear, this is a no chance. Okay. The average logical thinker, he says, I think men are missing the point. But I'm not trying to argue with anyone tonight. You and me both, sister. You and me both. Y'all know my go-to. Okay. Judge says, arrogance of them folks get them killed all the time. The art of today. How you doing? Says, hello, Donovan. Welcome back. We miss you. Greetings and beautiful sister Demetria. Thank you. Reagan says, delusional women. Gloria says, the people are asking the question do not look like us. No, there's actually some sisters involved on it, and I've seen a lot of brothers explain it. So it's women from all walks of life that are actually pondering this question, if you will. Hello, Miss White. I hope you're doing well. Brother Reggie says, play dead, my A, that bear gonna smell you and know you fresh, alive meat. Yeah, I would probably just die of a heart attack, just to be honest with you. Judge said, who hurt her? And Marcella says, I had to put this in here. A long time ago, a woman was coming back from Africa with a gorilla, and there was a black guy with a camera. She told him, oh, it's okay. The gorilla attacked him. And he said, she said the gorilla thought it was a gun. Oh. Donovan says, a woman who would answer that, they would pick a bear is a stupid person. Well, again, I think you're missing the point. The point is to further, okay, ma'am, why would you say that? Some people are probably being stupid, but some people probably have a really, valid reason. I don't know. Judge says, anybody can say anything on the computer. Don't make it true. She's pushing an agenda. It's not just her. It's actually, if you go onto like TikTok, it's like a whole trend. So Shan, how you doing? Says because of the movement, the Me Too movement. Okay. So you think it's because of the Me Too movement? Okay. Hey, Miss Sweets, how you doing? I hope you're doing well. And Donovan says these women be acting like they don't need a man until they need a man. Judge says, well, if they don't want a man, I'm cool with that as well. No skin off my nose. And then again, too, you got to remember we're not talking about all women. We're talking about some women. Avenged Ancestors, how you doing? Yes, welcome back, Donovan. Frank say true. And average logical thinker says, I saw a man post that women are 50 times more likely to die by a man than a bear. I also heard a woman say that she chases bears from her backyard and never attacked in the mountain.
Well, that's true. Like in Alaska, you have in some military bases that have like wildlife because it's an open. A military base, a lot of you guys don't know this, it's a national preserve. So when you're on a military base, you can't really necessarily kill animals and stuff without permission and all this other stuff. So when I was stationed in Alaska, there was constantly bears and moose in your backyard on the base housing area. And all you could do is go in the house and wait till either the MP shoo them off or do something, and get rid of them. So it's not uncommon. But of course, 50% of whatever your astrological thinker was saying about would get with a man or whatever. I mean, if you're not around, how many women are actually hanging out with bears? I mean, come on.
It's a hypothetical question.
Yeah, I know, but but even in a hypothetical question, it just doesn't make sense. It's not logical.
Well, if it's hypothetical, it's just that it doesn't always have to make sense.
Right. It's not logical. Women aren't logical. We know that.
Okay.
There you go.
Artist today says, did I hear you say never a good reason to, these freaking mosquitoes. Says, did I hear you say there's never a good reason to kill people? How about it? Okay, come on now.
Hypothetical. Okay.
I'm just saying, how about if they're trying to kill you? I mean, maybe I should have rephrased that. I mean, I think, and we know in most of those cases that wasn't proven to be the case. I think that's the point. But yeah, I agree. I think that's good reason enough. Zerai says the better question is, would you rather work with a bear or a woman? The question sounds dumb with the same point. Yeah, okay. Judge says, I will never force myself on people who don't want me. Plenty of fish in the sea, and I got plenty of fishing bait. I know that's right. Judge says, ask her if the bear is paying for her dinner tonight. I think she's dinner tonight. I had to learn how to butt my lip because I was gonna say something real slick, and I don't want to do that. Hey, Al, he says Donovan got darker. Yeah, he's been out having fun in the sun.
Yes, I go to the beach when I'm in the DR. If I'm near water, especially beach water, I'm in the water constantly. So that's my thing. But I'll lighten up in a couple weeks. Frank,
you say, why are they asking this in the first place then? I think it came out of some study, or I don't know where it came from, somewhere. And like I said, it's been trending. I've seen it. I've seen a lot of discussion around it. So I thought it was interesting. We're going to shift gears in just a second. The average logical thinker says, Donovan said exactly. The question don't make sense. Yeah, it's, Troy says, I saw a video today of a woman who hangs out with bears. Yeah, she's probably an anomaly rather. Frank says, so are women saying they don't want men? I think in those cases, some women have men already. It's a hypothetical question. Ask me, maybe I'm not clear, because some of y'all saw that woman ask her man. So she has a man. So it's not an issue of whether these women want men or not. It's would you rather. Have y'all ever played Would You Rather? Would you rather run outside in the rain or roll around in some mud? It's a would you rather. So I think maybe we're kind of looking too far and off into it. It's a hypothetical. So it's saying that I don't want a man. It's a would you rather. I hope I was clear.
But it's also delusional when a woman answers it's kind of like watching these movies, fellas. How many of you guys have seen these movies where the woman's like 110 pounds and she's kicking the shit out of a 240-pound guy? Oh, excuse me. Sorry about the language. Sorry. She's kicking the crap out of him.
Question.
Yeah. She's kicking the crap out of the guy in the movie. She's just tossing these guys around like it's nobody's business. The women that answer I'd rather be with the bear are those type of women that think this could actually happen in real life, and it can't. It can't happen.
They simply were just asked the question. Y'all did this. Wow. Well, no.
Wow. No, it's not a wow, because we agree with you. It's a stupid question and it's hypothetical, but it's also ridiculous because it's showing the delusion of women to even answer that like that.
So the men that are actually getting the point of it, are they delusional as well?
They're getting to the point of it. They like how? What do you mean?
The point, and yeah, logical thinking. I don't know. I don't know. I'm tired, so I didn't think maybe it was that hard of a question, but apparently it's like shoo, I don't know. It's to make you think, and I know a lot of people don't do that nowadays. It's to make you think. Like, wow. See, that's the problem too, I think. And I'm hot. I need to bump my air down, but I'm here by myself.
Deanna on the road again. Deanna's on the road again. Deanna's on the road again.
Sort of, kind of, yes.
Yeah. Is Coachella going on? I don't know, but anyway, go ahead.
No, that's why I don't wear my hair out in the afro. It done shrunk all the way down. And I'm burning up. I think that's kind of the problem, especially too in relationships or just in general, is people don't want to think no more. This question is not to like be combative. It's a question. I know it's maybe a cantankerous type of question, but it's not a question to make people fight. It's a that's interesting. Like, have you, and I know men and women don't have conversations anymore. It's just my point of view. No, it's my point of view. I don't want to listen to you. It's like, it's a question. It's to be pondered. It's not meant to argue. It's a question of, that's interesting. Why would you say that? Not why, women are delusional. Y'all tripping. Y'all would never be in the woods with a bear. It's to make people think. It's a conversation piece is what it is.
Right. But what are we thinking of? That's what I'm saying. It's not
why
it's not
would
logical.
Why would the woman pick the bear? That's what's supposed to be pondered. Or even if she says, I'll pick the man. Okay, well, I'm interested in how you came to that conclusion other than what you think to be the obvious. But see, that takes a little bit of elevation. And a lot of people are really elevated.
Well, to me, the logical answer is to pick the man because that's what you're innately to
but
do.
You ain't a woman. It's for the woman to ask that if she was in the woods with a man or a bear, which would she choose to be there with? Now, if I was a man, or even as a woman, I hear a woman say she would choose the bear. I'm like, all right, why? I would be interested in knowing why she would choose the bear.
See, that's the difference between men and women. We don't give a damn why you would choose that. We really don't.
Well, some men don't because there's a lot of men.
Yeah. Well, in general, men don't really give a damn because it's an illogical question. So.
Got it. Hey, Pop, how you doing? You gonna behave today? Judge says my ex acted like a bear. You crazy. Hey, Herschel, how you doing? Judge says all men ain't out here beating on women. I know. Oh my God. Nobody said that. No, when I say nobody, I especially mean me. And that's kind of why sometimes I hesitate to do topics because it's like, I don't know. That one's probably gonna, yeah. And I think this is one of those topics. But no one says that all men beat women. That's because I know women who beat men, or some women who have put their hands on men before. Milo Factor says just be more friendly when you're in town. So you don't have to be in the woods alone. Yeah, I'd never be in the woods alone. That's just me. Facts Not Feeling says the question has an agenda behind it. I don't know. I don't know that it does, but apparently you guys think that it does. I mean, some things. Yeah. Let me put this up here. Ooh, Lord. Like there's just, I don't know if it even exists anymore to have a conversation with our people. Let me put on my helmet and my pass because I got to get on the defensive and be just like we're just conversing. We're having a conversation. There's nothing, just we're talking. I don't know. Oh yeah, Dr. Contiga says they don't want to know why. Trust me. Okay, and to this moment, I don't think too many people have asked why. I've not seen that. So I don't know.
Yeah, I'll agree with the average logical thinker. Like I said, if you're a man, we don't care. We just don't care. It's illogical. We just don't care about it. It's like get out of our face with that. It's a waste of our time.
Victor says, Timothy Treadwell, I think he says, live amongst grizzly bears and had a good relationship, but it took a random bear that was not familiar with ripped him and his girl. Yeah. One thing nature gonna do is what nature gonna do. I do not play with it at all. In fact, yesterday I was driving down the street and saw a big giant snake in the middle of the street. I said, oh, hell to the no. Because, it rained here and it flooded in a lot of places and stuff. So I'm imagining some wildlife got brushed into. I was like we ran right over it, not like over it, but like the car drove over, and we're like, did it get under the car? Because we're going fast, but you're paranoid. It's crazy. Yeah. And Tia, you say you choose the man, okay? Judge says the agenda has been black men are violent. The divestors pushed that for a long time. Well, this didn't really have a color attached to it. Like this was a black man or a black bear. It was just a man or a bear. Just know that I don't push that. Stanley, how you doing? Thank you, Pop. I appreciate that. He says the answer tells us everything we need to know. Does it? Because nobody's even asked. So I'm just asking. Level up and man up. You said bestiality. Oh my God. Y'all really, wow. We said the point of the statement is that the bear is not hiding their intentions or faking it. It is a lot of dudes that are. Let's just ponder that, okay? And I thank you. I thank you for bringing some sort of, well, maybe let me try to figure out why they say that. I want to thank you. I really do. Thank you. Okay. Corey, how are you today? I hope you're doing well. That was a white chick, yes, Pop, but it was a plethora of chicks, if you will, said this. Dee says, I have no choice but to be alone as a woman. And why is that, if you don't mind me asking? Spider-Man and his amazing friends, how are you? Says, man, that's an illogical question. Also, man, I could beat a bear in a fight.
Yeah, after a few drinks, we could beat anybody in a fight. Come on.
Oh, that's actually really cute. Kelvin, you said everyone is listening just to respond and not to understand. Yes, that's what I'm saying. Well, how did we get off track here? It wasn't, honestly, fellas, it wasn't a question to say you guys are horrible people. It was just a question. And I don't know how it jumped the track. We weren't even on a train.
So then why is it that when men say something similar to women, they get off the train?
Again, that ain't all women. I don't do that. I like.
We're not in absolutes. I'm
right?
just saying. Well, like I said, you could do the same thing in reverse.
Yeah.
To me, it's all just a distraction. It's just it's just a waste of time.
Yeah, that lady lying, and she ain't gonna be here that long, Joey. 14 bears. Yeah, it's gonna be talking about she went up yonder pretty soon. Goldilocks and the 14 bears. Marcella says you didn't stop to say hello to the hell no, I didn't stop to say hello to the snake. We was going like 35, 40 miles an hour, and as we approached it, we're like, that's a snake. It was giant too. Well, when I say giant, it was like that curled up, and so we're like, did it get under the car? Did like it was hanging off for dear life as we're driving.
See, now I'm really shocked at you, D, because this is why you need to pack up and move back to California, because a real Southern person would have stopped their car, got out, chopped the snake up, and made victuals for the week.
I ain't real. My mom was Southern, not me. Okay, in Southern California. Prime, how you doing? Says, do women know how dumb they sound talking about being around a bear over a man? Thank you for reminding. Yes, we know now. Judge, he says, like I said, I'm not thirsty for a woman's attention, and you shouldn't be. Corey said, you choose the man. Prime says, you can't reason with the bear. Bear will turn you into gravy. No doubt. Miss Sweetie says, a white man asked a white woman this question. And it's been, all people have been pondering this question. And D. Bryan says, I never met a man that wanted to hit me. I'm over 6 feet tall, so maybe that's why. Yeah, right? He know better. Shan says, I guess the bear is going to fix the car for them and fix stuff for them around the house too. Didn't nobody say that bear was in the woods fixing cars? The bear was just in the woods, and the man was there too, and the woman was there too. They weren't fixing washing machines, cars, cleaning out gutters, painting houses, breaking backboards. They weren't doing any of that. They were just there. And a lot of these women answer the question have men already. Quincy, how you doing? It says for the people just joining, what's the topic? We actually about to switch just a second. And Facts and Feeling says here's an agenda. All men grape women. That's what the question is about. That's why they say she chooses the bear. Well, in all fairness, all women didn't say they would choose the bear. A lot of them said they would choose the man. So I don't think that's necessarily what that question was about. Al says, I'd rather hear y'all talk about politics. They're ridiculous. Topic about bear. Oh, we can if you want us to do that. Judge says black women always run with the man hating agenda. Oh gosh, okay. Your logical thing says we get off the train because you said women are emotional. All right. So let's see. Nina, how you doing? Let's see who else came on here. Okay. I even dread doing this topic because it's just like I already see what we own today. And I want to show this video, okay, in hopes that we can come to a solution. Let's try to help her and other people like her. Can we agree to that? I'm going to agree to that, okay? Oh, and if you guys didn't hear what I have to say, obviously I would choose the man. Because we know I don't know what bears can do. I wouldn't want to know, but we know bears are probably going to win. I would choose the man, although I get why some women would say that, no doubt. There's been some women who have been harmed by men from every way, shape, and form. So I get why they would say that, but I think if I'm being logical, yeah, I would take my chances with the man because I could probably fight him off with some of my moves that I learned in 7th grade in self-defense, whatever. So yeah. All right, here we go. Sarai says, sorry, topics irritate me. I get it, but sometimes, we have to have conversations that are irritating, but I'm not trying to irritate y'all. So let's go on to this here. Macy, how you doing? I hope you're doing well. So here we go. I didn't queue up. Hold on 1 second. Okay, we're going to be on our best behavior, okay? Let's go.
And have the luxury of having the child's father around. To the mothers that have the luxury of being able to get a day or two to yourself. To the mothers that have more than just 3 or 4 people as a village. Please appreciate that. Because the mothers that don't, I'm tired. I'm tired. I didn't want to be a single mom. I don't deserve to be a single mom. My babies deserve to have their dads.
Okay. I'm just seeing who else came on here. Pop, you being bad again. Donovan.
Isn't this the video that was a couple years back? She came out and she was like, "Oh, I'm tired." And this was a long ago video.
Is this old?
Yeah, it's an old video.
I've never seen it before.
Yeah. She's crying because the baby's crying and she's up on her own. Well, here's the thing, and this is what a lot of young women do not understand. When you want to be a city girl and you want to go out there and light the fire and have a day off and do what you want to do, get on a cruise, get flued out, all that other stuff that you want to do, you're supposed to do that before you have children. The minute you have children, you are supposed to take the focus off of yourself and put it on your children. I was 27 years old I was 22 when I had my first child. I was 27 when I had my second child. When I had that first child, I cried. Not because I was so happy that I got this child. I knew that the focus of everything is not going to be on me anymore. It's going to be on this child. And I'm going to sacrifice for the child. That's our problem in our society in the modern age today. These women want to do all of this stuff. And I'm just talking about the women because we saw a video with the woman crying about a responsibility that she now has. Single motherhood is a choice. It's a freaking choice unless the man died at uncontrolled circumstances. A lot of women are making the choice of being single mothers. And there's nothing wrong with that if that's what you want to do. Consequences, people. It's called consequences. I'm sorry. I have no sympathy for this woman. Demetria and I talk about it all the time. She's a woman. I'm a man. I'm going to have my stance. There's over 40 types of protection of birth control for women and counting. Number one being abstinence. If you don't want a child, don't do certain things. But and this is just my belief. I'm not pushing my belief on anybody else. But once that child comes into the world, the focus should be on the child. But what do our women do? When I say our women, I say women in America, the Western world. What do? Oh, I need a break. What the hell you mean you need a break? The child needs diapers. The child needs this. The child needs that. You knew Ray Ray and Pookie wasn't going to take care of that baby and help you do that. But if you had gotten married to the man, the courts are going to step in and make him do it automatically in the division of divorce or whatever the deal is. But you didn't require marriage. You didn't require any of that. So who suffers? The damn children. The children suffer. But all these women think of it themselves. How many of you guys have friends that, you're single and you can do what you want, but the chick that's got 2 or 3 kids, she wants to come along to the club and have a girls' night out, but she got 3 kids at home by two different baby daddies. It's always on her. And then who's taking care of the child while she's at the club on a tizzy tour, out there getting another man? Her mom. She's putting it on her mom. See, so I have no sympathy. I have no sympathy for women out there that do it. I have relatives and I have a niece right now. Hey, she's doing what she's got to do. Consequences.
I'm just reading some of y'all comments. I see the sentiments are, pretty much even across the board. I see some people say she should keep her, legs closed. Sounds like she said baby dads. So it sounds like she has more than one. I'm imagining. Herman, how you doing? Says good evening, everyone. Looks like I stepped into a storm today. Oh my God. And it wasn't supposed to be that. Top notch Trager. How are you? Says hang up and please dial rent grandparents to get some me time away from the kids. Woo, that's a touchy one there. Mindful Moment says abstinence, celibacy, and healing are mandatory to be able to make better choices. If you weren't shown how to make good choices, and Carmen, I've been reading your comments. She says my mama took care of mine while I was at the club. See, yeah, and y'all know I have one child, and I have one child for a bunch of reasons. But for one, hey Sony, how you doing? Me and her father didn't stay together. She was like 1-ish or so when we broke up. So I just didn't want a, bunch of baby daddies. It's just me. I'm speaking about me. I didn't want a bunch of baby daddies. And I didn't want any more children. Financially, I think you could probably adjust, but mentally, emotionally, it's a lot to go on. So I wasn't a single mom. I always say there's a difference between a single mother and a single woman. A single woman she can have a child, but the father is there. So he's doing his part. They're just not together. Now, in my definition, a single mama is truly one that's single with no help from the father. She's just on her own, raising the children. So I was fortunate enough that her dad helped me raise her, although we weren't together. But I couldn't imagine having to do that by myself, because it is tough, especially if you're doing it right. You're caring for that child from morning, noon, and night, and everything in between, right? School and homework and just extracurricular, just a lot going on. And I would imagine as a single mom, you don't have a lot of time to really just do you. You just don't. And then I saw somebody interject the grandparents. Well, I don't have any grandchildren yet, but my daughter knows that she should be bringing in, and I tell y'all this all the time, so this is not new. I tell my daughter, I need a son-in-law before I have grandchildren. Okay. She's always known that because you're not going to make me the baby daddy. And unfortunately, a lot of people who have children and they don't have the dad or the mom around, they make the grandparents, let's say it's a woman, right? They make the grandparents the baby daddy because the grandparents are now doing the job that the father of the children should be doing. So I told my daughter, do not do that to me because I'm going to be a grandparent for recreation, not obligation, right? I'm not going to be saddled down with your children because whatever. Now I get it if you got married and you divorced and then something happened. Okay, that's a different story. You went about it the right way, right? But because I know people who children are they're grown children, they out there just popping them out, and bringing them back home, and then the grandparents watch them. Then they out there meeting somebody new, and then they having some more kids, and they bringing it back, and they just wash, rinse, repeat. And so I just always taught my daughter, that's not going to be you. Now, it wasn't necessarily me. I didn't marry her father. So there's a lot of things to consider. I was also one of those parents that I was not in the club after I had my daughter. I was a responsible parent. Like I wasn't running the streets, hot girling, or none of that other stuff. So I understood what it meant to be a mother. And I was a young mom. I had my daughter when I was 21. I understood what that meant. So I say all this, that to say, when I see somebody like that, my heart does hurt for her because it's like if you have baby dads, it's like, what about the first time didn't rearrange your understanding? What made you want to do it again? And it does say something for settling down to a good choice, although some people do settle down to a good choice and for whatever reason it doesn't work. But as they say, hindsight is 2020. Looking back, it's like what should I have done differently? You know what I mean? But I want to give the other side of the conversation too, because I will be remiss in saying that she didn't choose better. And I always say this, so this is not anything new. I think men and women, mothers and fathers, also need to raise their boys to be better choices, right? Because I always say, if you don't want to be with that person, you can't see yourself married to them, raising a child with them, then you should not be lying together in the same bed, because you may make a baby and then the hard stuff, no pun intended, you have to yeah, you know what I'm saying? That's when the work really takes place, right? Because there's a lot going on. So yeah, I don't want to beat her up because obviously life is already beating her up. But I would say that, if she sees this, it gets better. You just have to there's a lot of sacrifices you have to make. You can't go out as much as you wanted to, or whatever the case is. You might, and a lot of times too, maybe the children don't have a schedule. Maybe they're just willy-nilly running around all day long and you don't have a scheduled me time. And so I don't know. But Donovan, I'm gonna get back into these comments.
Well, look, I'm going to say this. Like I said, I have no sympathy for her, and I don't have sympathy for any girl out here knowing the information with smartphones in their doggone hands, that they don't have the information about Ray and Pookie, birth control. The information is there. So I'm tired. And how many of you guys remember a couple months ago, I had said on this show, don't invite me to no baby reveals, no baptisms, nothing. If you ain't married, I'm not going. I'm not going to do it. And don't get me wrong. I'm gonna tell you guys a story. My mother was a widowed mother, 2 children. Father passes away. I'm 5. My brother's 6. She's in California. She's a country girl from Louisiana. Okay, Louisiana, country girl, doesn't really know city type stuff, right? This woman, using the system as she could use it, decides to go to the Coast Guard, whatever the deal is. Now, here's my point on my mom, and I always use her as a prime example of how you do things. And Demetra, I think your mother said the exact same thing. Women that have wisdom usually sound alike. It ain't what you do, it's how you do it. When my mom came to me and my brother and I was 12 years old, and she told me she was getting married. I was like, I didn't even know you dated. I didn't even know. So it's not what you do, it's how you do it. But her primary focus was us as her sons, but she didn't parade a bunch of men in front of us, whatever. And now that I think about it, when we would go over to our cousins for sleepovers, you had your little help. You know how you women be doing your thing, because it's been proven that women cheat better than men. You guys go to your little girlfriend or your sister-in-law by, baby daddy, whatever. You guys be helping each other out. That's what my mom, when she was going out, I guess that's how she was doing it. But never brought a guy to the house, never understood what was going on. So these women today, with all of this information, all of this wisdom, the Demetra K show, you guys go to your average logical thinkers page. She talks about something similar like this also, which is, good. I mean, all of these women with experiences. I can't feel sorry for these girls that end up and pop up, in these situations, especially when you're getting with the guy that is 19 years old. He's in the street. How in your right mind do you think this young man is going to be a provider? He's struggling just like anybody else that is struggling. And then when I was in the DR, I'm talking to my little friend that I have down there, right? Really cute person, blah, 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 got a baby, whatever. And she's telling me about the problems that her and her man are having. She watches too much Basketball Wives on YouTube or whatever the situation is, because she expects her man, a Dominican man, young man, to bring home $60,000 a year and put her in this nice house and do all of that. That ain't happening in the DR. And I told her, you're delusional. You're totally delusional. You expect this man, where there's not a lot of opportunities in the Dominican Republic for young men, to live a lifestyle that he can't sustain, especially at that age. Men's value goes up as we age, as the great Kevin Samuels used to say. And it's very true. I'm worth more now older than when I was younger. I can't feel sorry for these girls that put themselves in these positions without a husband. It just doesn't make sense. If you're not demanding marriage, keep your legs closed. Keep your legs closed. And I agree with you, Demetra. There should be better choices of men. But guess what? Guess who's raising the last two generations of men? It's been a lot of these young men are coming out of single female homes, and they're coming out with single female women traits where they expect, oh, a woman need to do this, and she need to, he has these woman traits to where he won't go and get it as a man. So, it's just sad all over. I do feel for her, but I don't have empathy for people that put themselves in situations. It's called consequences. We need to bring shame back to the community. We need to bring shame back. I'm sorry.
Yeah. I do think that there should be some shame brought back, but I think it should be taught, and I think we're not teaching shame, because it's kind of hard to shame people who have gone through life believing and thinking it's okay to do A, B, C, and D, and it's really not, right? So that's something you have to teach from the cradle. But I do have empathy for her. I always say one of my favorite sayings is there, but for the grace of God, there go I, which means thank God that it is not me. I would never want to be in her shoes. So I'm not going to not have any sympathy. Of course, having sympathy for her is not going to do anything for her. But yeah, it's I think most people who've taken sex ed or anything like that, right? What that entails. It's procreation more than anything, but people have decided to make it everything but hanging off the chandeliers and trampoline and and all that other stuff. But then when a baby comes into the play, then it's a different story. And the other thing I think is unfortunate is because when people get to the point that she's at, sometimes the kids get harmed, because they just feel like I don't have any other recourse or just any way out or anything like that. So that's why I'm saying I think there should be some compassion. I don't think, and I'm just saying for me, should go around saying, I don't care. That's what you get. That's your fault. Because at the end of the day, it's not the children's fault. I think at the very least, but Honeydew, how you doing? I saw you say that there are counseling programs. A lot of times people, the women don't show up. So yeah, you can take a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. It's good that those programs are available, but I just think those principles should be taught at home. What are you teaching your children? And it's not just on the mama. it's on the father as well. And Black America, you asked, you said, so am I okay with not having any grandchildren? It's not my choice whether I have grandchildren or not. I'm not one of those parents to say, oh, you need to go have some grandkids, because, there's people who go have children, have grandchildren, they're not married. So I want my daughter to do what she thinks is best. And I have a lot of great nieces and nephews and all that other stuff. So, I'm fulfilled as a person, whether I have grandchildren or not. But I definitely do not want my daughter having a child with somebody just to say she's having a child, because, I want him to be a good son-in-law as well.
Dimitri, I got a question for you. Would you think, and what I saw in the Dominican Republic, especially, you see a lot of babies having babies. I think that's a big problem too. They're very young, and they're just, they don't have enough experience to really understand the responsibility that goes with having that baby.
Gil Prince, you want to be blocked? Say something about some bestiality one more time, I'll block you. All right.
So, would you say that that's also a big problem? Not that we could do anything about it, but especially in our community here in the United States and in a lot of countries, Western world, you've got girls and young men having their babies themselves, and they're getting put in situations.
So you asked me about as far as young people having children.
Yeah.
Because they're using, sex for sport and play is what it is. And they don't really, I would imagine you kind of know, but you don't know until you know, right? Most people, I say most people that are doing that, or they're just doing it for fun. They're not doing it thinking, okay, do I really want to be tied down to this sucker for 18, 25 life? We're going to weddings and graduations. Do I really want to be doing that with this person? If the answer is no, or I don't even know, then get yourself up. Like, I don't know. To me, that's just a weird concept to even think about laying down with somebody that I don't really know like that, or any of that kind of stuff, or just, hey, I'm here, you're here, let's do it. I've never been that type of person, so I just can't conceptualize that. But yeah, there's you got to pay to play, and sometimes people that pay is a baby. Thunder says, when was the last time you heard someone said they were ashamed or embarrassed? It's been a long time. Admittedly, I don't hang around a lot of people. But, with the exception of the internet, you see all kind of stuff that you would think that people should be ashamed of, but they're not. It's just any and everything goes. We are just in Babylon, So yeah, but shame is taught from the home. It's not when you get out in the streets and act like a donkey, and then people have to shame you. You learn that from your mom and your dad. And you say also, you can't teach someone something that you yourself don't know. I agree with that. My dad says that a lot, but I also think that you could teach your children ignorance, because ignorance is not knowing, right? You can definitely teach your children ignorance and the things that you think you know. So, but yeah, I get where you're going with that. Joey says, if a young lady is a relative of mine who's a baby mama, I'm not sure if I understand that correctly. The art of today says, Donovan, shame is so far gone, it's almost impossible to see if I make a comeback, but I'm hopeful. Why not just start teaching your children and your grandchildren what shame is? I learned that from home. I learned that from my grandparents, what shame was. And it wasn't like, you're a horrible person. It was just taught, right? It was expectations. And it's not even really shame as much as it's an expectation. You have to teach children expectations, but nowadays they're not taught. A lot of times people wait until the child gets out into the world, school or whatever, and they act up. And then it's like, okay, well, I need to, you should have taught them expectations when they came out of you, right? This is what I expect for you to do, this A, B, C, and D, but that's not taught.
Yeah. How many of us remember back in the day, your grandfather, especially the men, your grandfather or your father would tell you, you don't take my name out there and disgrace it, because the name meant something, and that was always in the back of your mind. I don't want to disgrace my dad. I don't want to disgrace my family name. You don't have that anymore. It's sad,
Yeah, Pop, I don't know who the troll is, but if I see him on here again, he gone. We don't care if you're into that. That's what you're into. Keep it to yourself, and whatever you doing, whatever you're doing with. Simone, you say, and long time no see too, by the way, it says not shaming, it's ridicule. That's the problem. I totally agree with you. Ridicule is different from shaming. Shaming is, making one think like about their behavior. Right? Like, nah, I shouldn't be doing that. You're right. But ridicule is, aha, you shouldn't have been, and that's what you get. And yeah, that's totally different. So I totally agree
How
with
many of you guys watched that Tiffany Dalton town hall meeting they had or whatever for the city, like Monday or whatever it was? And the people were getting on the mic talking about, yeah, you going to jail and then that's ridicule. That's ridicule. That's not, they're just trying to make fun of her because it's, it's the moment to do it.
Right. Someone says, I think shaming is just a display of disappointment and ridicule is rooted in jest. Exactly. Perfectly well said. Yes, indeed. And we never want to do that because, as Farrakhan said, don't laugh, learn, learn from other people's mistakes and what they're doing so that you don't, fall into the same pattern. Right. Honeydew, you say also, these moms have 1,000 excuses. The I don't know is the poorest excuse here in Philly. Some programs take a lot of marketing. Yeah, some people, it's that give a man a fish, he'll eat for a day. Teach him how to fish, he'll eat for a lifetime mentality. I don't want to go to this program. I just want you to give me a handout to help me with the child or the this or the that, some daycare or whatever it is. It's like, no, let's fix this because you taking the child to a daycare, whatever, is temporary. What happens when you get home? Let's teach you some coping skills, some, different measures on how to deal with things better instead of just an easy fix. So that's too bad though that they're not showing up.
Well, I have a question.
Sure.
And I want people, Demetra, I want you to answer this, but I want people in the chat also to answer this. Let's remove that girl complaining and hollering, and let's put the young man there. But the child is not there. So like she's hollering and screaming because when you bring a child in the world, the primary responsibility is its parents, not the grandparents, not the cousin, not the grandma. It's the parents. So if the young man, married or not, was in that scenario, but the child is not there, what would I'm trying to think of what that young woman is thinking the young man is going to do in this, in a scenario like that. Like, what could he do to alleviate the situation? Because they're not married. You see where I'm going with that?
Yeah, maybe show up and take the children for a couple of days a week or, whatever, come help, just be there. So maybe she could do something else. Because I totally believe if you participate in making a child, yeah, it's your responsibility to be there with it too. A lot of times, especially when the mom and the dad aren't together, the dad's portion of it ends up being child support. And a lot of times, I would say often, he does have visitation and things like that, but sometimes he don't. And I think what a lot of people, especially women or whoever's getting child support, need to understand is the judge cannot mandate that other parent be there. They just mandate that they pay child support, but they can't force them to physically be there. So while you might be getting child support, is it enough to pay for daycare or some program that they're going to do while you can get a woosah? You know what I mean? But those are definitely things to be thinking about. And we're 2024, and I'm not sure when that took place, but we're in 2024. We shouldn't still be having these conversations about people being surprised that it's hard to be a single mama because more than likely her mama was a single mama.
Now, in a situation like that, as stressed out as that young lady was, and people in the chat, let me just hear what you guys got to say about this. That woman was so distressed. Would it be better for her to give the child to the father? Why do women who feel a certain way in regards to being overwhelmed will not give that child up to the father?
Well, I don't know what her particular situation is. I know a lot of it does have to do with child support. I'm getting a check. So giving up the child means I don't get a check. A lot of times that has to do with it. And then sometimes the mom is just like, well, I don't want to give up the child solely to the father. I want to primarily raise a child or whatever. So there's a whole host of reasons as to why people don't want to. But I definitely think that if you are overwhelmed and the father wants the children, yeah, I think it'd be cheaper in the long run too for you to pay him child support. That way you get a break or whatever the case is, or split the time. I don't know, but again, that kind of goes back to the conversation we were having. People don't know how to converse. They don't know how to have conversations that are conducive. It's just, well, I'm not taking a child. No, you taking a child. Just let's figure out how to make it work for both of us.
Demetria, have you heard of this young lady? She's on YouTube. Her name is West Indie Collections. How many of you guys have heard of her? West Indie Collections. This is a woman that was a 304, whatever she was doing, model, whatever, adult. She was a sex worker, however you want to put it. And she was on Atlanta Street Interviews when I first saw her. And she's been in homeless shelter. How do you have 2 kids and get kicked out of a homeless shelter as a woman? But anyway, she's been kicked out of a homeless shelter. Obviously, she's out of order. And she recently got a place, and she uses her kids, and she's constantly begging for money on the show. My point of the matter is, if you guys know who I'm talking about, is you see she has a son that's about 8 or 9, and he might be even older than that. And she, to me, the children are traumatized. And if when I was talking in the comments, giving my opinion, all these women came for me talking about, well, she's trying her best. She's doing what she can do, whatever the deal is, but she won't give the kids up to the father. If you're homeless, when do you give the kids up? And then when you look at her kids, even though the mother can't see it, nobody says she's not a great mom. Nobody says she doesn't love her children. But as a man, what I'm seeing, you're traumatizing those boys because all you're showing them is destability. They're just, there's no stability in their lives. All they see, mom, is struggle. All you're putting into those young men is struggle. So why not give them to the father? But you know what? A lot of women, and this ain't all the women, just you guys know the women we're talking about, they will hold on to those kids, like you said, Demetria, for a freaking check and a lifestyle that they live off of, and the kids don't.
Yeah. And I tell you men this all the time, and I have advised men to help them get their children, to get some. And how you doing, Samuel? See, I hope you're doing well. To help them with their children. And I know this is going to suck to hear this, but y'all got to fight just a little bit harder. And the reason I say that is because y'all know there are women out there who are, going to take you through the stuff. You can't see your child. You can't do this. You can't do that. You got a new woman. So there you can't see the child. You didn't give me no. I asked you for some extra money so you can't see the child. So there are women out there like that, right? But I hate to hear men say, oh, she won't let me. Oh, she, a lot of times women drive men away, and so they just don't want to see the child. I'm like, take that heifer to the white man like she did you, But a lot of times men don't go to court. They don't fight. They don't fight for custody. They just say, oh, well, she's giving me a hard time. Unless you're a horrible person, you've done something heinous, the judge ain't going to tell you, no, you can't have no custody. Then you get some custody paperwork, and if she get to acting a fool, then you, at 911, I need an officer out here. It's my visitation. I got the paperwork. Have the paperwork because that's important. They're going to say, do you have your paperwork? Yes, I do. My day is this day, the blah, blah, blah. She won't let me have it. Ma'am, this is his day. What's the problem? If she get to acting too froggy, a lot of times the police will act. That's what the paper is for. So I'm saying all that to say, stop making the excuse. And I know it's an excuse, but it's not a good enough one not to fight her. And I know that sometimes you shouldn't have to fight her. I'm not saying that. But sometimes you do. Sometimes these women aren't being challenged. They like, oh, he a punk. He ain't gonna fight me, so I'm gonna just keep dragging him through the stuff.
And that's great advice to have the paperwork. But here's what's happening as we see with these scammers and these people that break into your house and stuff like that. You got to remember, law enforcement people are not lawyers. They've got 6 months, if that, of arrest training. They're not lawyers. So what's happening is a lot of these fruity custodial parents are coming up with fake paperwork as well. Then it becomes a civil matter. Because the cop can't take this from that one. He can't take one word over the other. He's not a lawyer. He doesn't know what he's looking at. And they usually go with that. So I'm not saying don't have the paperwork, but what I'm saying is a lot of these girls are getting crafty where they're having fake paperwork that is alternate to what the guy has.
And I'm going to say, I've never heard of that, but if that's what they're doing now, then take her to court. Take her back to court and say she produced fake paperwork, during the time of me having to, get my child. And, she's going to have to answer to that. They're going to want to say, and then maybe have the officer document what it actually said on there. That way, when you take it to court, you can say, here, see, this is what it said, opposed to what the original order said. But I'm saying that, and I don't know how often that happens, but don't let her get away with it. You know, I know it sucks to have to do that, but you know, sometimes because the other thing could be said, you need to choose better.
And I'm going to say this for men because I was in the exact same scenario. Even to this very day, I'm in therapy to this very day because I'm a victim of the child support system. My first son's mom, whole bunch of drama. Rather than see my child and me and his mother and I going through it, and I'm a younger man at this time, it's a, Desert Storm baby, whatever, war baby, whatever. It was better for her. I'm not going to go through the back and forth with the ex. So I tell a lot of guys, if you can't deal with that woman like that, whatever, pay your financial responsibility and go on your way. If that's a better scenario for you. But to sit there and have to go, if you're not that type of person, and I wasn't that type of person, I'm not going to go back and forth about my child. Pay your money, do what you got to do, and go about your business. But what kills me, Dimitri, is when a man does that and he says, you know what, you got it, you can have it, don't ask me for nothing, no birthday presents, whatever. The court says I got to pay this amount, you got it. Then the woman hollers and screams about, I just want him to be a father or whatever. You can't make that man be a father if he don't want to be a father. As long as he's meeting the court obligation, that's it. That's it. And you got some men that can walk away. It's no big deal.
Yeah. And, if I was a man, I would never do that simply because I wouldn't want to have to answer that question to the child. The child is not the child's fault that the mom and the dad could not get along for whatever reason. But if I was a child, I want to know, Dad, why you didn't fight for me? Why did you just walk away? Because I would never, I'm just telling you, as a child, it would never be a good enough excuse that, well, your mom was giving me a hard time, so I just left.
But Dimitri, now you remember in my situation, even after all of that, and he asked me that question, and I produced the paperwork, he was so brainwashed, he still couldn't fathom it, what had transpired.
Yeah, I mean, again, I'm just saying, because I've talked to men who pondered that. I'm like, no, fight that heifer in court. Is it going to cost you some time? Yeah, it's going to cost you some time. Is it going to cost you some money? Yeah, but it's going to be worth it. And every single time it worked out in their favor more than it did hers. Every time. A lot of times men just think like this comment here, the system, and how you doing, bro? He says, the system is 100% against men, telling men to fight a little bit harder. It's like telling Black people you need to fight against racism a little harder. We do fight in both circumstances. Well, I'm telling you, I'm a witness to a few men that have fought and won and more and won even more than they thought they would. But a lot of times y'all just don't even show up. A lot of times you're like, oh, the system is rigged, it's stacked, so I'm just not going to show up. And then she ends up winning by default and getting, an exorbitant amount of child support on you and just a whole bunch of stuff. So you at least got to show up. Just show up. That's, I think, a lot of the battle, just showing up. But Donovan and I've been in court where I've seen men just didn't show up. It's like, man, you didn't even show up.
Fellas, aunts, if you got nephews, cousins, whatever, young cousins, even if they're in high school right now, let's say they're about 10th grade, that's the perfect time to take one day and go sit in that family courtroom so that they can see what the injustice system does to guys that make the wrong decision for 2 minutes, according to Demetria, for 2 minutes of pleasure, what the court system does. And like Demetria said, you will find, I would say, Demetria, what was it? More than half of the people that got raked over the coals didn't even show up. And they got raked over the coals.
Yeah. Brogu says the lawyer will tell a man that you can fight for your child and he's willing to work with you. The lawyer will tell you it costs thousands and thousands of dollars. In the end, you will lose. The men that I've advised, if you will, they didn't have to get no lawyer. You just, fill out the paperwork, and there's a lot of fathers' rights. See, this is the other part. Y'all just need to know. Because I'm telling you, I'm speaking from experience, and y'all talking to somebody who was in a child support system twice, erroneously asking to pay child support. So we're not talking about, y'all not talking to a woman who did not also go through that. But y'all just, I love y'all. Some of y'all, and maybe y'all speaking from your own experience, but there's so many fathers' rights groups. There's other like pro bono attorneys that will help you fill out the paperwork, and it will help you every step of the way. And I'm telling you, because I've actually know somebody who was facing like odds, like it was she lied on him.
Yeah, we're HBCU lawyers and all the black lawyers and stuff, but
regardless of where the lawyers are,
yeah,
they want to help you for free. Go sit down and talk to them.
Yeah, exactly. And real quick, the person that Demetra was talking about, Walter and I went to court to witness what was happening. Demetra was on the phone. She was dropping dime on the phone. Do this, make sure you do this. We were like, damn. And guess what? He won. He won. The woman was livid. She was livid.
Yeah, but you know, he was defeated and deflated. You know, like I don't know what to do. I mean, she took him through a lot. I mean, called the police on him.
The whole 304 scenario. And see, fellas, look, this is why I say if you got a cool aunt, and this is why I get mad at the ladies. I get mad at you guys because it's not a problem until it happens to your daddy, your brother, your favorite nephew. Then you guys want to, stand up and do stuff instead of giving them game early in the process. Because like I said, he was defeated. I remember he was like, this woman took him through the whole 304 process, total lies, bogus BS. I didn't witness anything, but I was in the courtroom. Oh my, where's the Emmy? Where's the Grammy? The Oscar, the tears, the whole thing. It was phenomenal. It was a playbook.
Yeah, but it's like, let's stick to the facts. Let's stick to the facts, So I'm telling y'all, don't give up until my mom always taught me, keep going until you get the last no. The last no, okay? Not the first no. Oh, he told me the last no. And Stephen, thank you so much. Tell your wife I said thank you. He says, I had a judge tell my son, mom doesn't have to let me see my son and she would move away, but she got that check every single month. It's finished. Yeah, and I hate that too when moms want to move away from the father, out of state and stuff. I was like, why would you do that? So you're gonna, force the children and the father to have a very distant relationship because you've moved on or whatever the case is. I don't think judges should allow that. I think they should tell the mom, you want to move, great, you can move, but the child needs to stay.
Yeah, actually here in California, and I had a relative that went through something like that. She had the baby in Florida. The father came and got the baby because the child was a resident of Florida. And she had to take the baby back, and it's a whole mess. But here in California too, if you have a child with a person and the custody's been established and all that other stuff, you can't leave this state. You might have a great job opportunity. If you got an a-hole for a other parent, because whatever, you ain't leaving. You could leave, but you might have to leave the child with him or her, and that's the way the laws are going. And the women hate it because now they just can't up and leave when they want to up and leave.
And I don't think that they should be able to. Okay, so I see I got a lot of questions on here. I'm gonna go down. And Thunder says, am I wrong for completely leaving women alone who have that mindset if she thinks a bear is safer than a man? I think only Western women have this issue. There are plenty of other women overseas. There's actually women from all over who are pondering that scenario. So it's not just women here. Just so want to put that out there. All right, so let me skip down because I see that we've got some other people come on here. And Stanley, you say, walk away is not worth it. Make more children in a better situation. Yikes. All right. And Ron, how you doing? He says, don't call the police for no reason at all. That's a sentence you don't want for any of your family members. I'm just saying that she's not giving you the child. You got paperwork, a court order. That's what it's for. That's how you enforce it. You call the police. Hey, I'm trying to pick up my child and she won't let me. Here's the paperwork stating it's my time. And then the police are supposed to sort it out. That's what it's for, is not to be anything adverse. Now, if something froggy goes on, then yeah, they might need to leap. But that's what it's for. That's how you enforce it. Because what are you going to do? Call the judge? Hey, I know you gave us this order, but she ain't opening the door. So you're supposed to call the police. That's how it works. All right. So let's see. Let me skip down a little bit so I can catch up. In fact, my feeling says, Dad, why didn't you not fight, son? Your mom used the white supremacist court system to destroy my life, got me fired, lose everything. Lose friends, child support, lose family support. I had to rebuild my life, son. Okay. Stanley says, make them children don't cost, but fighting to be in their life does. It just depends. Some of y'all, and I say y'all, I mean them over there, don't even show up the first time to see what you're up against. So that's, you can't complain if you don't show up, All right. Donna says, question, how much harder can men fight before she says she's being hyper aggressive, or he's being hyper aggressive and she's in fear for her life? Well, take her back to court, get a modification. That's what they're there for, But again, I can't tell people what to do. Asha, how you doing? Says sometimes it's not about a fight. They just don't want to be involved. Oh. All right, so let me skip down. I promise y'all I'm going to catch back up.
Yeah, you want to get involved, especially if it was a one-night stand.
Well, you might want a DNA test after that. And if it is yours, and sucker, you on the hook, okay? That little 2 minutes cost you, didn't it? 2 minutes cost you a lifetime. Steven says, my son asked me the same question, why I didn't fight for him. And later he said, I didn't pay child support. And I asked him, did you see a blue check? And he said, yes. I told him, go see whose name was on it. Yeah. And unfortunately, the women, they lie. And it's like, why lie? It's stupid. It's just dumb to lie. You traumatize a kid for what?
It happened to me, the 304 playbook. How do you tell a child, a military man doesn't pay child support? You couldn't even stay in the military if you ain't paying your child support. Come on now.
Honeydew says, my mom's male neighbor just got his son from baby mama. Baby has been shaken by baby syndrome and doing well, but damn issues for no reason. Yeah, see, that's what I'm saying. Especially that woman that we saw crying. Unfortunately, that kind of stuff happens. Just, I can't. And they unfortunately harm the children. So we never want that to be the case. Ron says, if you try to get help at the legal aid office, they will tell you that they're too tied up. See, again, that may happen, but that's not always what happens. See, we got to stop blanketing stuff, because I'm telling you, Donovan will tell you, I know people, men who have gone and gotten help for free. So that it didn't happen there, that doesn't mean it doesn't happen. Because and as men that you guys are, y'all should really be trying to, and I get it. The first thing that we should teach our daughters and our sons is stop making children, for one, that you can't take care of. Because I think most people now that are having children cannot take care of them. Donovan, how much does it cost a year to raise a child? Or in a lifetime?
A lifetime, they say almost $250,000.
Yeah. Also, that should be the litmus test.
And that's not education. That's just $250,000 clothing and food.
That's Cheerios, So most people can't even afford to procreate. But then when you do, then you don't even know if you can get along with the person. So those are conversations we need to be having up front. Son, daughter, don't plug your in, or don't let him plug his in into you if you're not going to be married and stay together. That's the first one. But that it doesn't happen yet. Nonsense does ensue. But stop telling these men, oh, well, don't go down there because then they not. That may be true, but that's not always true. See, I'm a fighter. Anybody knows me, I'm a fighter, and I don't take no for the last answer. And one thing, especially if you my loved one and you my friend, you're not going to screw my homie over or my loved one over. I'm going to fight with you. You're not giving up. I don't care what this heifer says. We're going to pencil whip her. And that's what we have done. So stop doing that. Stop saying, oh, they're not going to help you. Because then what happens is that child goes without his father because he could have gotten help somewhere, probably for free or cheaper. And he didn't, because he listened to some other man who was effed over by his baby mama and decided not to fight when he got the first no.
And see, I'm glad you're bringing the no thing up, because for some reason in our culture, because we don't want to engage because the white man has done us all so bad, when you accept that no for something that is supposed to better you, your children, be it whatever your benefits are, you lose. You lose. Demetra, what is the hardest thing, and Demetra should know this because she's a veteran, about being a veteran and getting your benefits? The minute they get that letter that denies them their benefits, the biggest group in the military that does not use their military benefits is Black people, and it's specifically Black men. They won't sign up for their benefits. They got these injuries or whatever the deal is. They won't use them. It happened from World War II up until now. We are still the biggest demographic group. If I can get you to accept 10% service-connected disability rather than the 60% that you're really entitled to, who wins? The government. So no, we got to start getting that out of our vocabulary, because again, like you said, Uncle Rufus, who was in Vietnam, man, that white man, I ain't gonna go down there now. You don't need to go down there because when I went down there, they denied me my benefits. And yeah, it does happen. But Demetra is a witness. She saw me when I went through my stuff. Took me 6 years to go from 80 to 100 because I would not accept no for an answer. And I've been living the good life ever since.
Hey, Anita, how are you doing? We just having a conversation now. Bit my lip. Conversation now. Let's see. Oh, just me. How you doing? It says close your legs. Solves all these problems. Black women label responsible men, no matter the race. Yeah, I mean that. I don't have any argument about that. Yeah, I think that's true for everybody. You know, to try your best to court and vet and all of that. Yeah, because sex is for procreation. Period. Like I said, we done freaked it up and made a whole bunch of other stuff out of it. And, you know, like, I'm pregnant? How? That's the dumbest question in the world. How did I get pregnant? Remember that night when you had your legs open like a goalpost? That's probably how it happened, you know. Judge say, real talk. Says, when we broke up, my ex put my daughter up for adoption. So the court don't care about the father. I don't even know. Yeah, I've heard of those things happening, but I've also heard of fathers being able to say nah. Because in most cases of adoption, from what I understand, they make sure that the father is not involved or doesn't want the child. So I don't know. Did she lie or some case like that? But I've heard of those things before. That sucks. It does. And she's a horrible person for doing that. So yeah. Facts My Feeling says, what will happen to Black population if in the 1930s we were listening to stop having kids? If you don't have the money, there'd be no Black population. Well, I mean, I get it, but back then we were more of a unit. We're not more of a unit now, you know, and let's keep it a buck. It wasn't this thing called inflation, you know, and people lived together under one roof. Grandmama, grandpapa, the kids, everybody lived under the same roof. People also had farms or gardens and things like that. So and you thinking about it today's times opposed to what the way they were living then, things were a lot differently. But no, I wouldn't advise anybody broke. We run around here. See, that's the one thing I always say. Y'all can be mad at me if you want to. I don't think broke people should be screwing. If you broke, don't you should just have a chastity belt or something on your stuff, and you need to be making enough money. And I think you should pass a psychological exam. And I think people who are on the internet too should pass a psychological exam. But nevertheless, I think there's a lot of things you should have parenting classes. Like there's a lot of things. The parenting classes shouldn't come after you have the child. Parenting classes should come before you have the child. Because you might say, oh, I got to do that too. The kid, then you might say, oh, okay, you know what, I ain't ready. But then you want to have parenting classes after you done royally effed up the kid for 5 years because you're just winging it, you know?
Well, you got to think about it too, Demetra. Remember our parents, your mom, my mom, in that generation, they helped their mothers take care of the younger kids, you know, because back then they had bigger families, you know, so they knew what to do when it was their time to have their families. They already knew how to take care of babies and all that other good stuff. So we live in a different time where feminist says, I don't need no man. I ain't got to take care of no baby. I'm going to go to college and get a degree and all this debt and, you know, whatever. And then when the family comes, they don't know what the hell to do.
Gil, you say all Black women are fighters because they don't get hit back. I don't even know what that means. Or Ronnie say immaculate conception. Yeah, I mean, unless you're, you know, you was messing around with Mary and, you know, your name is Joseph. I don't know, you know. DJ Charisma, how you doing? Says not a goal. I'm just saying, you know, how did that happen? How did I get pregnant? Remember when you let him bounce up and down on you for 2 minutes? That's probably when it happened. You know, say, hey, listen, it can happen in 2 minutes, okay? Dude be up there, Your Honor, I was only 2 minutes in there. That sometimes that's all it takes. Some of y'all about a minute.
When I first got with you, baby.
You know what? You better stop. Yeah, I'm just saying, you know, I'm one of those people. My daughter tends to think that I'm a little scary. And I'm not scary. I'm just very apprehensive to a lot of things. And so, I don't know. I just think those are some of the questions you should ask. All right. Now, if I get knocked up, I get in the family's way, We good. But see, I wouldn't even want to ask that because I'm just assuming it's with somebody I'm with. Like I said, I had my daughter, I was 21. So there's a lot of room for error there. But I didn't
And
make
it
a
was
lot of
also
errors.
after the Gulf War. A lot of babies were born during that time.
Right. My daughter's father he was out of the military. I met him in the military, but he was out when
But he had gone to Desert Storm. That's what we're gonna do when we get back.
Just me says, don't nobody look out for Black women, so she better look out for herself. And I have kids. I would say that's not true. That's not true that people don't look out for Black women. There's a lot of people, a lot of men who do look out for Black women. I'm a Black woman. Unless I got some personalities up in there, that Black men do look out for me. So I cannot stand on that statement. Is it true that some Black women have that situation? Yeah, but I would say it's probably not the norm. So I don't know everything, but I would just imagine that's not the case. Another thing too is, I'm big on accountability as well. If you know that is your situation, that you don't have anybody to look out for you, then don't put yourself in a way or don't make things worse for yourself. I think that's what I want to say. If you know you don't have anybody to look out for you, don't go making babies and then now you don't have somebody looking out for you and the baby. You know what I mean? I'm not saying you, but I'm just saying in general. Let's see here. Okay. Judge, you say, I must have missed. Okay, so you're talking to Donovan. Mindful moments says the Great Depression, but we still made it work. Not all the other now all the other folks are freaking out because they never been without or struggled. Yeah, we may do and we always do, but I wouldn't want to raise a child broke. It's hard, it's hard to try to figure out getting all that you need for the child, let alone yourself. So Brogu says men don't lay down with these women. You need to learn everything you can about them before you get serious with them. Also check out other countries with women traditional values. There you go. That's what y'all should be teaching men. Teach them to as Judge Maybelline Ephraim said on divorce court, look deep before you leap. Stop just hopping up and down on these women because she got a big old giant butt. So figure out what it is you're getting into before you get into it. Okay, so I'm just gonna skip down it. Steven says, Demetra, no, I discovered Kitty in junior high school. I was sprung after that. Well, yeah, it happens. And junior high is early.
I got a question, and let me ask you, Demetra, and guys in the chat as well. Is it not a woman's nature to seek a man for benefits? That's just, is a man going to take care of me? Isn't that how women, at least they used to be raised? I don't know about now, but I know like your mom and my mom, when they came out of high school, getting married, having a husband and starting a family was a thing. Now, and you couldn't do that unless you really could provide as a man, so like that. So do you think that that's changed from back in the day till now? Because to me, women have, and still want benefits. Like I said, you hear these girls with these unrealistic expectations. Oh, he's got to have 6 figures, this, that, totally delusional, by the way, for the benefits. And there's nothing wrong with that in the aspect, as long as it's, it's real. Do you think that's changed at all?
I think the perception of women wanting benefits have changed. Back in my father's days and my grandfather's day, and I would imagine before that, it was just assumed that a man knew that if he was taking on a wife, let's put it there, a wife, I'm not saying a girlfriend or some chick you just, hanging out with, y'all having 2 minutes of, I ain't talking about that. I'm talking about your wife, okay? Back then, they assumed if I take a wife, I need to be able to take care of her. I tell you all the time, my mom had a full ride scholarship to Clark Atlanta. And even then, she said she graduated in 1967. But she says most, if not all, of her girlfriends were talking about when I graduate, I'm getting married. That was the career in a way. I'm getting married. I want to, get married. And a lot of
in high school, you had home ec and family,
Yeah, they taught you how to, to be a wife, and men took wood shop and auto shop, and also you were
technology.
You were learning to be industrious and how to, be a homemaker and all that. That's before, that ain't for men, that ain't for women. Because even when I was in school, I took home ec, or whatever. They have wood shop, auto mechanic shop, and all that other stuff. So back then, men knew they had to have some sort of income to take care of her. Because they're like, I'm gonna get a wife, I'm gonna take care of her, and we're gonna have some children. I'm gonna take care of them. The woman and the child gonna be home, and she gonna make the house a home, and I'm going to work. I'm gonna bring home the check, and that was the way it worked back then. And the reason why I say I think is the perception of it has got rearranged, because now a lot of women are unrealistic in what they're asking for a man. We're not living back in the day where the woman could stay home and the man could just have a okay job and still make ends meet and send the kids to school and all that. So for a woman, let's say especially in our community, to say, oh well, he needs to be able to take care of me. I need to be driving this Mercedes and these BMWs and these Coach and these Gucci's. That's unrealistic, okay? And then the other side of it is for men. I think men think taking care of a woman is, oh, she gonna use me. Oh, she's a gold digger. Now, some of those perceptions on either end might be deserved, because of some of the expectations that we have now. But yeah, I say all this a lot. Other races of women don't get charged with the gold digger roles. In fact, those women are unapologetic. You need to take care of me. You need to be able to take care of me if you're going to marry me. Oh, you're not putting no little, and I'm not saying me, ain't putting no little Cracker Jack box ring on my finger. You need to be really bringing it. So they expect that, and the men are like, I'm good with that. Somehow in our community, it got lost in translation somewhere. I think that's really what happened. Then we have this stupid 50-50 argument, 100% argument. Most men aren't making enough money to take care of a woman 100% unless, they're having very meager living. Right. If they have, their money, but I'm saying most men aren't in a position to do that. So I think women going into that union need to understand that. You might gonna have to go get out there and get you a part-time job or bring some income into the house until that man is able to get somewhere and is able to take care of you and the household and the children.
Yeah, but you were about to go on something like when you say very meager living. Basically, you're not saying like be poor. You're saying like, hey, instead of having a Mercedes, have a Toyota Camry. Something like that. Now, Demetra, people, even when I was in the DR, people were messaging me, asking me, hey man, how do you do this and how do you do that? And you're an average guy. You ain't doing that, but you're living a lifestyle, whatever the deal is. So here's the secret. And your average logical thinker, and you guys that were in the military, you guys know, if you don't know what your benefits could bring you, you could be styling and profiling just like me and Ric Flair. You could be doing that. I don't have a Mercedes. I have a Sentra. I still drive a 20-something-year-old car. I paid off my little Cracker Jack house here in California that's worth almost a damn $1 million. I'm living a lifestyle that I can sustain. So a woman that wants to live what she sees on Basketball Wives, she ain't going to get with me in that aspect, because we're not going to make it. Because if I'm not driving a Mercedes, damn sure she ain't going to drive one either. And Dimitri, what was it? Minister Farrakhan said, you got a man that's making money, bringing it in the front door, and then she's shoveling it out the back.
Yeah, my dad always says that sometimes a woman will bring in a man will bring in a spoonful of money, and a woman will shovel it out the back door, basically saying that she is not responsible with money, right? And then Farrakhan does talk about that too. Why some women expecting their men to spend all this money on them. It's like, your man ain't making that kind of money. Why would you want your man out there working all these jobs to try to support your unrealistic lifestyle? And I always say that to men, don't get with a woman like that. If the woman can't understand that, I don't have, big baller money just yet or whatever, that ain't your woman, because she's always going to have unrealistic expectations because what is that song? She always talking about what a girlfriend's got and what she ain't got.
Bobby Womack.
Yeah. Bobby Womack. If you think you're lonely now, she going to be talking like that. Well, my friend, her husband, and she got all this. Why I can't and why? Don't get with a woman like that. That woman ain't there for you. Because Farrakhan saw him talk about the other day. He says, make sure that you're with somebody that is with you, not just for what you have or what you can do for them, which is why it's unfortunate that sometimes y'all men do lead with your wallet. You don't lead with who you are, your characteristics and stuff like that. You lead with, oh, girl, I want to rock your world. I want to take you here. I want to take you there. I want to buy you this. I want to buy you that. And then when your little, income tax check run out, because that's what you was balling on probably. And then she's like, well, what happened? Well, we was having such a good time. We're at the mall. We're doing this and now you don't take me to the mall anymore. And it's because you that wasn't sustainable. So get with somebody who was like, you know what, babe, get the coupons. Yes, that's a turn on. Get the coupons, boo. Get with a woman like that, because then she'll appreciate it when you do get it, when you have it better. But y'all be batting out y'all league sometime with these women who were sack chasers. And y'all know she a sack chaser. And y'all end up, getting the short.
Demetra, how stressed out was I when I had my little sack chaser? When I started finding out, I was like, I gotta go.
Yeah, sack chasers, they relentless. They really are. Don't need no man. Stop telling me I do. How you doing? Facts I Feeling says other races of women are not about big diamond rings. Shit. I said a cuss word. I'm sorry. I'm just saying it's ludicrous. Are you crazy? Those women, they be having a wheelbarrow, wheeling the damn ring around.
Fellas, I know you guys, watch YouTube and the Passport Bros. They're not telling you the whole story. Here's the story. You guys got to understand this. The American culture is visible. It is out there. They're seeing what the American women are doing and how they're doing it. And a lot of the younger generation is emulating that. They want big rings too. They want this and they want that. That's how bad it's getting out there in these travel streets. It's getting that bad. It's messing everything up. So don't think you're going to go overseas and meet a chick that's like, oh no, this little $50 band is perfectly fine. It's not. It's not. They're watching TV.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think there's be a lot of women who wouldn't be happy with a $50 band, but then there's a lot of women who would be. It's just that I think the woman knows the man she's dealing with. If you're dealing with a man who's a CEO or something, yeah, Jeff Bezos or whatever, yeah, he gonna get you the ring that you need 15 security guards to walk around with you. Lauren, she got that. But if your man is working at a warehouse and he probably ain't gonna be able to get carrots. Okay, the only carrots he's getting you is the ones from the grocery store. But it's what's behind the ring. Okay, the symbol, the ring is just symbolic of what you're doing. It's saying, hey, other dudes out there, she's taken. Okay, she's mine. That's what the ring says. Okay, and then if you could do better, whatever, do better. But I think women need to be realistic too. Why would you? I have a friend. This was like 15, maybe even 20 years ago. He bought his fiance a $10,000 ring, and they did not get married. And he told her to keep it. I said, "You better than me." I did a snatch. I did a snatch buy on her finger.
But here's the game, fellas. If you're at the ring shop and the girl, you're with your girl and everything's cool, you're over there at one of the ring shops. And she goes, oh, this little $15,000 one is really something I really like. You go, oh, yeah, baby, we'll get that one. You damn sure make sure you go and get you a 20, 50 equivalent band, whatever it is. And if she looks at you crazy, then you make sure you look at her crazy, because I can almost guarantee the band that she picks out, she couldn't afford to give it to you. And that's going to be the litmus test for you.
Yeah, and Honeydew said just had a Palestinian family wife outright said the husband is supposed to get them whatever they want. So that's what I'm saying. I know that's how they get down. You're supposed to take care of me and whatever I want. Yeah, there's something like that.
That's that culture. That's that culture.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So to say other races of women don't like, oh, just give me a blow pop ring. I'll be good with the shit. They want to know how many cows you bringing.
As a matter of fact, how many of you guys have been to the mall early in the morning and you see the Palestinian people or the Muslim people from the Middle East? They jump out of their Mercedes SUVs. The little baby carriage is a customized Mercedes baby carriage. That's how they're rolling.
Common man, I'd love and appreciate you for that. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Says, you think I'm kidding at Demetra K? I won't even miss this. I won't even remember this. 100% facts. All right, you got it like that. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. I do. Thank you so much. All right, so let's see here. Ooh, where did it go? Marcia says, say it again. I agree. They don't demand it. We ask, but they act like us Black women are talking a different language. Yeah, it's just got lost in translation somewhere between the men and women that, there's an expectation on both ends of it. If your man is taking care of you, then yeah, you should make the house a home and all of that other stuff. It's just, I don't know, we've just been taught to fight with each other. Like I said, I would love to stay home and be snug as a bug in a rug. All I got to do is just cook and clean.
So what you're doing now?
I work, okay? I work.
Right, but you're home all the time. You don't go outside.
I work from home, okay? But I'm saying, well, if I didn't have to work, I'd just be like, oh, he's going to be home in about 2 hours. Let me go and get that roast beef going or the steak and potatoes. And you know what I'm saying? Even when I worked, it was like that. It wasn't, oh, man, let me get up. Are you hungry? No, I didn't cook nothing. I didn't know you was going to want to eat when you got home. They never that. Thunder says they have women like that, but only a few men look in that direction. He says the assisted living facility, Gertrude, can make a mean pot of collard greens. You crazy. Oh. All right, common man. You say it's nothing. Okay, it's something. Well, it's something to me. I appreciate that. Judge, you say I could cook my own meals. You should be able to. I think men should be able to cook. Don't be like my friend Donovan here that has a can opener and glory greens, okay? Pours the glory greens out and he might make him a little cornbread with it or something and, pot liquor and cornbread.
But see, what she's not telling you is Donovan is in survival mode until I get back to the DR. I'm saving every nickel and dime and do what I got to do. So I don't mind cooking myself a little something with some bread and sausage and some Kool-Aid and maybe some, a good old tea bag, over and over again, Every penny counts when you get over there.
Right. Mindful Mama says a lot of these men miss that these women in other countries are stricter than women here. You must have a dowry to even entertain their women in some countries. Yeah, how many cows you got, homie? Cows? I ain't got no cows, and you might as well just be getting on out of here then, okay? You're not taking my daughter. We need some in exchange, right? Because in a lot of those cases, the daughter is an asset to the home, right? She's doing something or whatever. So now you're going to take her away. So they're like, what are you going to give me in return for that? They being the father. You just ain't taking her for free now. So,
and the funny thing that you just mentioned that used to be in our culture not so long ago. A woman didn't just leave her parents' house because she wanted to go on her own and that. Usually the girls stayed in the house until they were married.
Yeah, and a lot of the cultures, they still do that. She stayed, and some sons too even stay until you get married, And Marcia says, I'm not saying completely ask like demand like the others demand as a standard. Yeah, I think it's not, I don't even know if it's a demand, it's just known, right? Like I can't go get a wife and not have nothing. I need to be on my square, or whatever. And in a lot of those countries too, they don't even want those women tampered with, Like if she's tampered with, y'all know what I mean, then she's considered damaged goods, for a lack of better words. Because the man think he's buying something pure. It's like, how would you know if I didn't tell you?
Yeah, and if she's damaged goods and you're not going to marry her, you're going to have to compensate that dude. And it's a lot of money, especially if you're an American or a foreigner.
Yep. Joey says, I think an unattractive man got to have money to get a woman of his desires for them. No money, no honey. In other words, paying to get played. Yeah, unfortunately, yeah, that is the truth for some people. If he's facially challenged or something, he's got to have a lot of money. But I think that's probably true for even men that aren't facially challenged. A woman wants to be with a man that she ain't gonna struggle. Like I said, a lot of women that I know is like, if he could just take care of himself, he get his nickels, I get my nickels, we rub them together, and we make something. You know what I'm saying? But struggle love, yeah, no, I don't think no woman wants struggle love. It's like no man wants a woman who's combative and acting like a donkey all day long. It's a lot of work. But yeah, and Quincy, you say, men don't ask for much, just home cooked meals, some peace, a clean house, and some cookie for dessert. Yeah.
Denitra, we were talking about this earlier before we came on the show. Why is it that men from all regions of the United States say the same exact things of what we want in women?
Yeah, I mean, and Quincy, I hear what you're saying. There's a lot of women who do that and still end up on the short end of the stick. I'm just saying. Just me says we should have arranged marriages. It's better than blaming black women for touching black men who abandon their kids. What? Yeah, I don't have a problem with the arranged marriage thing. I think we'd probably be a lot better off. You gonna learn to love them? Then you just say yes. But see,
but again, where in your vows does it say love? I've never heard the traditional vows and love is in there. It's not in there.
Another thing too is, I think you should love somebody, but we go off of that only. Because if you really think about the nature of a marriage, it's a business. A marriage is a relationship is a business. It's work. You got to give to get, and it's a lot going in. But people just do it all out of love, and it's like you may not love that person one day. What if that happens? Okay, common man, you showing out now, but continue. Continue. But I love and appreciate you. He says I spend more money on beer than this light beer, but we grown folks, we ain't no kids. I know that's right. I hope you ain't drinking now. No. but thank you so much. That really means a lot. As I do incur some expense for the show, so I thank you for that. It helps. Let's see here. Okay, where did I leave off? Donovan, you happy to be back with your cats, huh?
It's not that they're happy to see me, so it's like they're reestablishing their dominance.
They smelling you like,
yeah, who owns me, and yeah.
Well, they like, what's that smell? That don't smell like our cat food. Facts Not Feelings says struggle love is a propaganda term. It is used to legitimize poor working class black men. No, I don't think it's a propaganda term. Does some people use it in that way? Sure. But I think it is really a thing in that some, and I say mostly for black women, are expected to help them, I get the whole helping a man that's maybe trying to go somewhere. Trust me, I know. But to teach a woman, don't ask for nothing, don't expect nothing. If you do, you will go digger. I think that's wrong. I think that's wrong to teach women and girls that if you would have some financial expectations of a man, then you're wrong. Now, I'm not talking about, she, like I said, getting a bag out of a man or something like that. That's a different story. But I think struggle love is definitely a thing. So, yeah. Just me says to love and to honor is in the vows. To love and to honor. Donovan, you wasn't listening when you took your vows?
That wasn't in my vows.
Oh, just obey. You replaced it with obey me.
And yeah, my vows had nothing to do with love. Hers probably did, but mine didn't.
I ain't gonna lie. When I took my vows, y'all know I was married for 10 months. I don't remember a damn thing. It was like wah 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 wah. I do. I guess. I couldn't tell you anything about it at all. It was a blur. Mindful Mama says marriage has to be a business arrangement first, and love second. I totally agree with you. But people are doing it just for love, and when that love wears off, it's like, yeah, I don't want to do this no more. It's easy for people to leave relationships when the love wears off. Miss Sweets, yeah, it's like, what's the smell? You've been going off a long time. Honeydew says, surprise. I told the Palestinian 25 to stay her ass home with her boys. Your husband works and have plenty of family. So another overwhelmed mom whose heart is on money and not the prize. Yeah, that's crazy. Especially if she's over here. It's like, yeah, you done came over here and got to acting like a city girl. That ain't gonna work out for you. Yeah, logical thing. It says them cats you've been around some other kinds of kitties. Right. Okay, so Facts Not Feeling says delegitimize. I mean, okay, got you. It says non-other cultures use struggle love terminology. Okay. Hey, Sister Shirley, how you doing? It says, welcome back, Donovan. Hope all is well with you. Yes, indeed.
Yes, my first full day back. I still got a lot of catching up. My yard been gone for what, 3 weeks. My yard just I gotta get to it.
I bet you do. So anyway, Donovan, you have anything else to say? I know that you're glad to be back, stirring up trouble. I'm gonna name you Heathcliff from now on. Heathcliff. You remember the theme song to Heathcliff? Heathcliff, no one should terrorize the neighborhood. Or something like that.
Yeah.
That's you.
Lord have mercy. No, the funny thing, my neighbor's like, oh man, we thought you moved. I was like, no.
We thought the cats ate you up in there.
Because like I said, everybody works, and so when they don't see me, because I usually, you'll see me a couple times if I'm in the yard or doing something. But they were like, man, where did you go? I said, man, I've only been gone, 20-something days. But
that's a long time.
They're so used to me.
They're about to start squatting. What would you have done if you came home? You had squatters in there.
Don't worry, I have the cameras all around. They know. Don't come in this house. If you're going to do anything, do not come into this house.
Now you log on to your phone and the cameras ain't working. It's just you go home. We got squatters talking about this our house now. Gavin Newsom said we could do it.
I only could wish to get this aggression out somehow.
Judge said, I don't remember my vows. I had to get drunk for my wedding. I said, you should have never did that. You had to get drunk. That was, yeah. I think I had a little something to drink at the mind. Like, what did I do? Oh, just me. Love that. I love Heathcliff too, man. That was some good TV back then.
I used to like Eat the Cat.
Eat the cat. Yeah, I forgot all about Eat the Cat. What about Felix the cat? Hey, Leanne, how you doing? Says I asked my dad for an arranged marriage when I was in my 20s, and did you get one? If so, how did it work before we leave? Did you get the arranged marriage? I wonder who my dad would have arranged me with. He arranged me. There was a lot of there's some fine brothers in the mosque. Lord have mercy. I could have had me a fine husband that was, about that life. Because I know my daddy wouldn't have, pick, just anybody for me. He would have been. I could have been married, I don't know, 30 years now. If I had an arranged marriage, it might not be too late. Daddy, some good brothers around.
No, I think the problem would have been Amanda. Guys be asking for refunds. Man, you told me this was a good woman. I can't control this woman at all.
Right. She did black my eye again. No. Yes. Thundercats. Dun, 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 dun. That's stupid. I remember all them damn cartoons.
But they were good cartoons that had a message. They weren't brainless like these cartoons are now. So
yeah. I'm waiting to see what happened with the arranged marriage. Yeah. Judge says my dad told me to arrange to get out of his house at 18.
Your parents want you to leave. Like for me, when I was in high school, they bought me a luggage set for my birthday and some pamphlets for the military. they didn't say it outright, but it was like.
I left when I was 19. I just left, and yeah, I ain't gonna lie, it was rough, But back then it was easier to leave when you was 19, opposed to it being 19 now. It's like you're gonna leave into a 2,500, flat somewhere in the hood. Comment says, okay, you're getting back into showbiz next month because I'm bored. I'll be the older black man. And what are you going to be starring in? Because I'd love to see it. What kind of role is it? Is it starring as Denzel's twin brother or something? What is it? And Ron says, are you a dancer? Are you a Cancer? Oh no, I'm an Aries. And my daughter reminds me of that every day. Aries, that's why you be acting crazy and all of that.
Well, speaking of which, before we get out of here, I want to thank you guys for the birthday wishes. I appreciate it.
Yes. Hold on. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. How old you
Thank
gonna be, Donovan?
Thank you. I will be 54.
50. Yeah, right.
54. Finally.
Tomorrow is his birthday. But what are you gonna do for your birthday?
Sleep.
You're
It's
gonna
just another day. Just another day.
That's how I feel about it too. I keep forgetting Mother's Day is coming up. My daughter's like, Mom, what do you want for Mother's Day? I'm like, I didn't even know it was coming up.
Mm-hmm. So, remember, I got to save my coin for my return to the Philippines and the DRC. You got to have discipline and control.
You had your birthday present, so never mind.
No, I did. Yeah, I already did all that. That's what I'm saying. I came back 2 days before, which is great. So now my birthday comes up. Instead of going out and like $150 dinner or something like that, I keep $150, invest it, and I get ready for the next trip.
And Lynn, I'm gonna jack your name up, but how you doing? You say y'all ain't watching X-Men 97 best cartoon in years. Yeah, 97. I was 26, so I wasn't watching too many cartoons. I had a daughter. She wasn't really watching cartoons yet either, but I take your word for it. And Judge, you say you went to the Army, and a common man said you don't know. Well, do let us know what role you're going to be doing. But I love that. I love that is very ambitious. It's like, why not? I'm bored. I'm going to go act. Going to be on somebody's television show. And Joey says, watching in the clouds at the divesting channel. He says, and then I will hear one of these sisters say to the white guy, we black girls aren't looking for money from them guys, but love. Them some silly sisters. Silly, because come on. And I've seen this other trend on TikTok. It's the black wife trend. So with the black wife, and I probably got it wrong, but the black wife trend is white men or other men that are not black marrying black women, and they're squares, right? The men are squares when they get with them. Then when the sister gets with them, they level them up. They got these beards and they cute and they this and so they're saying that the black women, put the black wife effect on them. They level these dudes up, and now they're, these desirable hunks. And I'm like, yeah, okay. But yeah, those are some silly sisters.
Well, it could be some truth to that. I was on the plane coming into LAX. This sister, she was very attractive. The big tattoo on her chest. Ladies, stop doing that. That is not attractive to put a big ass tattoo like you're a superhero on your chest. But she was an attractive girl, and some guy was in the seat or something. He had offered the seat, there was something going on with the seats. And the white guy, goofy looking white guy, was like, oh, that's my wife. Because you would have never put them together. That's how, goofy the white guy looked like. He looked like one of those white guys that go to the strip club and got a hottie from the strip club, nerd guy. So, yeah.
Yeah, just I never even entertained it. It doesn't do anything for me at all. And I have a black dad who would kill me for, a whole host of reasons. But everybody's saying happy birthday to you, Donovan. Please do something other than sleep. Well, you've done it. That's probably why you need to sleep, okay? You're tired. You've had you use a couple of 2 minutes, I'm sure. You probably use about 10 minutes.
With a few blue pills, some Cialis,
Yeah. You
look. Her booty hole brown. I took her straight 2 pounds. I enjoyed myself immensely. Some of the best food in the world. I was eating food that was just so fresh and great and awesome. Had some bad Haitian service, which me and Dimitri got in an argument about, this bad Haitian. If I wanted bad service from a black girl, I could have stayed in the United States. Yeah. So, but yeah.
Like I said, at least you got to spend 10 minutes over there. So that's wonderful.
10 minutes of Pound Town.
Yeah, you should be good for another decade, You know what? That's one of my favorite movies, Napoleon Dynamite. Yeah. What was her name? LaQuanda? Was that LaFonda? Her name was LaFonda. And she got with Kip. Napoleon's brother, if you will. Yeah, she pimped him out. He was, all cool and stuff. But anyway, Common Man says, I'm going back to Burbank to resign into Central Casting. I'll start from there again. I'm new again in the movies on. I'm in movies on YouTube. Where? What's the name of it? We love to see it. What is it? Let us know before we get out of here. I'd love to see. Go check it out. Are you in an action movie? Are you in a rom-com? I'm dying to know. I think I've seen Donovan on Tubi a couple times. He was an extra on Bissonnette.
It was called Bissonnette too.
You know how you watch movies and you see the same scene over and over again? They're driving the car, you see the same buildings passing. It's like that, I don't know, that loop that just keeps going. Donovan is the man that you keep seeing circling the block in different scenes. He just... He's the one circling the block on Bissonnette. I'm not lying. Look at the credits. It says,
hey, I got $50 for that part. I got $50 for that part.
Right, you know what I'm saying? And you saved it to go to the DR and do it for real. I'm just kidding. Okay, so Warner, a Warner Brothers movies. You ain't gonna tell us the title of it. Anyway, we're gonna get out of here because I done busted a sweat and I'm tired. Okay. Anyway, I love and appreciate every last one of y'all. Thank y'all so much. And thank you, Donovan, for coming back, as I know you were pondering whether you were going to do that or not. But you didn't want people squatting in your house. So you said, let me go back. Because I was sure about to send them over there. I'm starting a service. I'll find these empty homes and be like, bet. And yours was next on the list. Okay. It's going to be like 20 of them in there. But I forgot you had that issue before. Donovan did. He kind of low-key had some real life squatters in his house once.
And I won. I took him to court and won.
You talk about what y'all know about Bissonnette. I only know what I've seen on. That was the last movie I saw on Tubi, and I say I rule the day that they invented this mess. I never watched Tubi since. I just couldn't believe it. Like, what the hell is this? Thank you, Miss Sweets. I love and appreciate you for that, Kelvin. Thank you.
And the crime is you told me about the movie. I've been traumatized ever since.
Everybody kept telling me this and that. I said, this ain't nothing but some porn. That's all this is. This is crazy. Then it turned into like a comedy. And it's like, this shouldn't even be funny, but it was. Shan says, play kombucha. You get on one phone and everything that has been on the other phone. What? Say Disney sucks. You also say, hey, Dimitri, I got you on one phone in Africa and the African diaspora on the other one. Yeah, I know Phil goes live every night. So anyway, we're going to get out of here. Y'all go over there and watch Phil. I know what he's talking about, but I'm sure it's dynamic. Nevertheless, we'll be back here on Sunday. Probably talk about politics, I'm sure. But thank you guys for everything that you've done. Common Man, thank you, thank you, thank you. Love and appreciate you for that. See y'all later. Peace. So you used to stay on Bissonnette, or we got to hear about that, Judge? I got to hear about that.